Hello, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to present our research progress. Our research focus on the concept of mundane circular economy policy, mainstreaming circular economy through the agency of schools. Our team consists of me and Professor Maria Josefina Figuera from Copenhagen Business School, and then Dr. Maharani Hapsari, Dr. Milda Longgeita, BR Pinem, and we have Tane, Wendi, and Nindita as the research assistants. So a little bit of introductions toward our research. As we have been observing, circular economy can be seen as a new area of study in sustainable development, and it has various definitions. So we took one practical definition, which understood circular economy as a practice that reduce the consumption of raw materials by rethinking the design of products that can be recycled after use, extending the life of products through optimizing maintenance and repair principle, and using easily recyclable materials and returning raw materials from the disposal stream. So from this definition, we draw upon 5 principles of circular economy, which is reduce, rethink, reuse, repair, and recycle. We built up our research project from this definition, and what we have observed so far is that the concept of circular economy has developed a political visions and policy priority in various countries. For example, in European Union, how the European Commission developed circular economy package policy in 2015. And also in Asia, China is one of the countries that has been developing circular economy as a new economic model since 2008. Although the concept of circular economy has been increasingly adopted and become policy projects in various countries, what we have observed is that there is a large gap between how circular economy is studied and how it is practiced. Therefore, the concept of circular economy is only understood and become an elite discourse among policymakers. At least that's what we have observed here in Indonesia. In addition, understanding of circular economy still focus on issues that are that are not too deep, such as leadership issues, energy saving issues, increasing awareness, and changing social behavior, rather than issues that emphasize production process and the closed loop system. Therefore, we believe that the top-down approach has been a dominant approach in understanding circular economy, and therefore we are looking for a more bottom-up approach to understand a circular economy, which could bring more benefit into the introductions, co-productions, and also the implementation of circular economy. So through collaborating with the Circular School Program Partnership, an initiative that bring forth the Indonesian Green Principle Award. This is a workshop where we are invited headmasters from or school principals from multiple schools in Java to have discussions and co-productions about circular economy. So in this workshop, we were trying to use a more bottom-up approach using multi-criteria mapping method and utilize the transformative innovation policy tools in assessing the impact of the IKPA program on transformative change in Indonesian school. IKPA program has started since 2022. It is a collaborative project between Center of World Trade Studies and also Janitra Bumi Education Consulting. Throughout this year, we have conducted 3 batch of IKPA workshop. And in this research, we are trying to gather these alumni from 55 schools in order to have assessment and evaluation about the IKPA program. So we have conducted a workshop using transformative innovation policy tools to evaluate IKPA program. And this workshop was attended by 43 participants, including 25 school principals and 17 teachers from all over Java Islands. As you can see, so in this workshop, we are trying to address to what extent the IKPA workshop has become a transformative arena or for co-producing and also implementing circular economy policy in every school. So what we are trying to gather in this research is that first one, our purpose is to identify the policies and practice that can be implemented and create circular schools in Indonesia by mapping criteria for appraising circular economy policies and practice in basic education. Second, to assess the optimistic and pessimistic appraisal of 5R principles implementation in circular school. And the third, we hope to construct a concept called Mundane Circular Economy Policy that was trying to bridge the gap between theoretical principle of circular economy and its everyday practice in school. So this research will provide valuable, we hope that this research will provide valuable insight into the implementation of circular economy and basic education in Global South, particularly in Indonesia. We hope to have a roadmap for promoting circular economy in the education sector and provide guidance to be a valuable outcome for the future research on circular economy policy and practice in basic educations. In conducting this research, we are gathering or mobilize multiple theoretical frameworks such as Mundane Circular Economy Policy. So mundane, the word mundane in circular economy literature is not new. It has been used quite frequently, for example, in the mundane governance of circular economy, as well as mundane consumptions. And also we are using norm diffusions as an attempt to see to what extent circular economy as a normative discussion has been diffused in Indonesian education practices. And also to assess the IPA program or the circular economy program, we are using transformative innovation policy framework to understand to what extent our program has transforming this school into more circular school. So in the research method, as I have been mentioned before, we are using multi-criteria mapping method, which is a combined method between quantitative and qualitative analysis. And the idea is to open up dialogue and open up systematic approach to appraise uncertain issues. In this sense, we interpret circular economy as uncertain issue because we believe that knowledge about circular economy could not only happen from top-down approach, but also it could happen from a bottom approach. And these are some progress that we have conducted so far. The first one, we are conducted literature review. We are looking for publications that are already discussed about circular economy and also to what extent the implementation of circular economy in everyday practices. So far, we have gathered around 6 literatures or 6 publications that has discussed that have intersection between circular economy and everyday practices. And the other activities that we want to report is that the evaluation workshop, which we are happily and gratefully organized it on 27th May 2023, which were attended by 43 participants. And in this workshop, we utilize transformative innovation policy tools to assess the impact of IPA program on circular economy. And in this workshop, we are using the evaluation tools from the TIPSI resources, where we believe, where we observe that there are 3 steps of transformative change. The first one is niche building, niche mainstreaming, and then unlocking regime. And we use this concept to have as a starting point with our participants to see and also to map to what extent the circular economy has been implemented in their schools. And these are some documentations of our workshop. We were trying to use a more interactive session toward the workshop. So there is a role plays, there are also some games, there are also some discussions that are small group discussions that are conducted in this workshop. And some of our insights this is our temporary insights from our workshop. The first one, we observed that there is also a gap in knowledge and experience between participants who had previously attended IPA workshop and those who were new to the programs. So the way we observe it, the newcomers often did not realize they have been unknowingly practicing circular economy principle. So in one session of the workshop, we introduced what we call as a circular map. This is actually, as we can see in the picture on the right, there is actually a table. On the left side, there is an initiative and also circular program that could practice very easily in everyday level. Like, for example, rethinking about buying new tables and new chairs for the school. So that is then on the right side, we categorize it as one of the 5R principle in a circular economy. Like, for example, if the initiative is to rethinking buying new chair and new tables from the school, it will be categorized in the rethink principles. So, the new participant looking at the circular map, they realize that they didn't aware that this is part of a circular economy, but actually in practice they have been doing it for quite some times. So actually this workshop bring out more reflections toward the newcomers, and also it validates our hypothesis saying that there is actually a gap, knowledge gap and practice gap. So what happened is in practical level, actually this circular activity has long been implemented, but most of these actors did not have awareness that what they're doing in everyday level is part of a circular economy in the bigger picture. And the second insight is that from ICPA alumni, they exhibit more confidence and having reached the mainstreaming niche and unlocking regime. So in other part of the session, we are inviting all of these participants to map their schools, to what extent their school has transformed into a circular school, whether it is still in a niche building level or niche mainstreaming, and also in unlocking regimes. And we observe that most of our alumni map their school's initiative on more higher level, which is mainstreaming niche or also in unlocking regimes. We believe that when the gap between the knowledge and practice closer, it also increased the confidence of the actor to understand their positions on the transformative pathways of circular economy. And the third point is that how we found the TIP tools provide valuable insight into the impact of ICPA program and its contribution to transformative change in Indonesian schools. What we learned from this workshop is that by having pathways, by dividing the pathways between niche building, niche mainstreaming, and unlocking regime, it brings more clear visions for the actors on their positions of the transformative agenda. And these also an interesting part or interesting reflections we got from the workshop. So in this session, we are inviting our participants to make priorities program. So from around 50 initiatives that we have in the circular map, we invite our participant to rank which program that you think it will be more optimistic, that you will feel more optimistic to be implemented in a short time periods. And if we look at and also the second question is that which program that you think will take more times and you have more pessimistic idea to implement in your school. So the first question we can look at from the priorities, and the second questions we look at from the non-priorities. And if we divide it into the category, we found that the most optimistic circular economy principles that our participant felt very strongly optimistic to implement in short time is rethink programs. And the most pessimistic one is the recycle program. So what can we reflect from this finding? One finding or our temporary argument is that the participants or the actor of these schools are now are able to moving on from the traditional 3R principle into more 5R principle. The 3R principle is reduce, reuse, and recycle. But throughout our workshop and also our coaching and mentoring program, there have been a shift of mindset from this participant that the activities of circular economy is larger than this 3R, and they including more the rethink process into the circular economy. The second arguments that we are trying to build in is that how this finding also shows that the actors has been there is sort of a mindset change. Actually, we can see from this report, seeing that how actors now more prioritizing what the change start from the mind. This change starts from the mindset rather than the change that they have been practicing. So this is part of our temporary report, and we are looking forward to have more questions or more comments into these temporary findings. So next step is we are trying to finalize the policy mapping, which is the circular map. It is still in Indonesian, Bahasa Indonesia, and we are hoping to have more concise and comprehensive type in English, so it could be gathered, and it will also be it could also be used with a wider audience. And the second one, we are trying to analyze our funding and try to integrate it with the selected theories and framework that we are using so far. And third of all, we are hoping to publish our interim reflections on the workshop at the Transformative Innovation Policy Consortium, or the TIPSI blog. It is actually an open access blog for those who are interested in learning and also practicing transformative innovation policies. And then hopefully by the end of the year, we are able to submit our papers to the international journals. So thank you so much for listening and following up our research progress. These are our teams, and we are looking forward to listen and to hear your comments or criticism or questions to our research report. Thank you so much for your time.